Hello and welcome. I'm the Big Shot Critic, and today it's story time. So gather round, dear viewers. If you're a Muppet fan, you already know the story and you've been waiting for someone to make a video about it. If you're not a Muppet fan, then I offer you an inspirational tale of great faith and determination prevailing against impossible odds. This is the story of a song called When Love Is Gone. When Love Is Gone is featured in the 1992 Charles Dickens adaptation, The Muppet Christmas Carol. It's the song Ebenezer Scrooge's fiancée sings when she knows she must leave him because the love is gone, in a scene shown to Scrooge by the ghost of Christmas past. Later in the film, there's a reprise called The Love We Found, and you'll see why I think that's an appropriate title for this video. After the death of Muppet creator Jim Henson in 1990, the future of the Muppets was uncertain. His son Brian was only in his late 20s, but took up the mantle the best he could and gave us two masterpieces, as far as I'm concerned, The Muppet Christmas Carol in 1992 and Muppet Treasure Island in 1996. For The Muppet Christmas Carol, frequent Muppet collaborator Paul Williams was brought in for the musical numbers. The same Paul Williams who co-wrote Rainbow Connection. That's Kermit's signature song, which got an Oscar nomination. So this guy's a heavy hitter. Williams had battled with substance abuse in the 70s and 80s and came out of rehab sober in 1990 and has since become a major advocate for those seeking their own recovery. Muppet Christmas Carol was his first major project after being sober, and all the emotions of that experience really found their way into the music. Williams has said that he identified with the spiritual awakening that Scrooge goes through in the story, and that When Love Is Gone is one of his favorite songs that he's written. At this point in the video, if you haven't ever heard the song, I strongly recommend you go give it a listen. I've left a link in the description for you to go do that now. I'll be here when you get back. Okay, welcome back. This moment in the story where the song takes place is very important. After seeing all of Scrooge's seemingly irredeemable qualities, this is his most sympathetic scene. This is where the audience really starts to feel for him and get on his side. It's a really heartbreaking scene and song. But before its theatrical release, The Muppet Christmas Carol was submitted to test screenings by Disney, and they found out that little kids were getting antsy during this song. Their attention was drifting. Studios always like shorter runtimes for their movies anyway, so they can fit more screenings in a day and rake in more ticket sales. So Jeffrey Katzenberg, head of Disney at the time, asked director Brian Henson to cut the scene. Brian agreed to cut the scene with the caveat that it be restored for home video releases. Katzenberg was perfectly happy with that, and the scene was cut for the theatrical release. In 1993, The Muppet Christmas Carol was released on VHS and Laserdisc. For those of you who don't know, Laserdisc was a precursor to DVDs, but they were big, expensive, and fragile. They weren't all that popular in the United States. I've never even seen one, and I'm a movie guy. Anyway, both the VHS and the Laserdisc had the scene added back in. The VHS was pan and scan, and the Laserdisc was widescreen. Now, it's important for understanding this story that you know what pan and scan means. I know some of you already do, so I'll make this real quick. Really simply, movies are pretty much always filmed in widescreen, and back then, TVs had an aspect ratio of 4:3, which is not widescreen. So to fit a widescreen movie on a 4:3 TV, you had two choices. Either put the full image on the screen with big black bars on the top and bottom, or grab a smaller portion of the image that fills the whole screen with a process called pan and scan. Well, casual consumers didn't like the big black bars. Ironically, they thought they were missing some of the image. So in the days of VHS, everything was pan and scan. Now, I happen to have here a widescreen DVD and a pan and scan VHS of the same movie. So here's an example. This is the widescreen DVD of The Jungle Book from 1994.
Good. Attentive fellow, isn't he?
Yes, very.
And this is the same scene from the Pan and Scan VHS.
Good. Attentive fellow, isn't he?
Yes, very.
For more on pan and scan and aspect ratios like 4:3, I've linked a very thorough and well-made video from a channel called Movie University. That link is in the description. So as I said, in 1993, The Muppet Christmas Carol came out on VHS and Laserdisc. Now get this, that Laserdisc from 30 years ago is still the only way to watch this movie in widescreen with the song. The VHS had the song, but that's pan and scan. There was a DVD release in 2002 that had the song, but that was also pan and scan. There was another DVD release in 2005 that gave you a choice, with the song included in pan and scan, or without it in widescreen. Then in 2012, there was the first Blu-ray release. No pan and scan version available, only widescreen, only without the song. Along with that Blu-ray came this DVD, which also is in widescreen without the song. That same Blu-ray was reissued in 2015 and 2020. Both versions still widescreen, both versions still no song. And somewhere in there, the digital version came out. Guess what? It's also widescreen with no song. If you're like the fans, you're wondering right now, why? Why not just keep the promise you made back in 1992? Why not just give the fans what they want? Well, if you've never heard this story, then consider yourself lucky, because I'm about to tell you why. For 15 years, the fans didn't have an answer. Disney lost the negative. Okay? This is a film negative. This is from a disposable camera, but movie cameras used something similar. Before digital, photography and film was a chemical process where a blank negative was exposed to light through the lens, and an image appears on the negative. When you make DVDs or Blu-rays or even digital copies of movies that were shot on film, the negative is essential. They go back and scan the original negative to get the high-resolution image. Without the negative, it cannot be done. Well, sometime in the last few years, it came out in the news that the negative was lost. It wasn't happy news, but at least the fans finally knew why they weren't getting the version they wanted. At this point, you might be wondering something else. If most versions don't include the song, and the song wasn't even in the theatrical version, then why is there such a movement to restore the song? Good question. And the answer is pretty simple. For the first 12 years after theaters, the only way you could watch this movie was with the song. Even the broadcast television versions had the song included. So many fans, myself included, became attached. And then, on December 9th, 2020, the news broke. Disney found the negative.
Let the party begin.
Brian Henson got a call from Disney inviting him to see a 4K restoration they were working on, and they surprised him by including the song. He was blown away because he knew it had been missing for so long. As part of my preparation for this video, I read the entire thread about this movie in the forums of Blu-ray.com. There are over 800 posts in that thread, by the way, and easily 95% of them are about this song. And that's just one forum. This was very helpful for me because the whole history of the issue is effectively archived in that forum, and I'd like to share with you some of the joy that was felt by the fans when the news broke that they found the negative. Santa365, a user on Blu-ray.com's forums, said, "This is the best news I've heard in perhaps 28 years. What a guy." This is why I chose The Love We Found as the title for this video. Not only did all the fans find a love of the song in question, When Love Is Gone, but there was a camaraderie that formed from the shared struggle of wondering where it went all the way to now being on the verge of seeing it restored. That shared love, struggle, and ultimate victory is the love we found. And of course they found the negative. They found it. The love we found. Do you get it? The news of the negative being found broke about 1.5 years ago at the end of 2020. We haven't had any official news since then, and the streaming version on Disney Plus is still missing the song. However, recent theatrical re-releases have included the song, and we know they were working on a 4K restoration. This Christmas will be the 30th anniversary of the Muppet Christmas Carol, and it is highly likely that we will see a 4K 30th anniversary edition with the song finally restored. But it's not a done deal yet. That's where you come in. If you're a Muppet fan, share this video, raise awareness, spread the word. Let's let them know that we want this. If you're not a Muppet fan, help us bring this in for a landing. For the sake of all fandoms that go through tough times because of studio interference. We got the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and we are on the verge of seeing When Love Is Gone restored in widescreen for the first time in 30 years. Let's keep this momentum up. Let's make this a new era where fans come first. That is the true Muppet story of When Love Is Gone, and how the fans are on the verge of a great victory after years of struggle. Are you inspired? I'm inspired. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Tell me in the comments below what fan victory you would like to see next. Share this video to put the power back with the fans. Be sure to subscribe for more content like this, and smash that like button to save Ebenezer Scrooge's eternal soul. Bye-bye. In my collection update video from earlier this year, I said that Elf is my 3rd favorite Christmas movie and the Santa Claus is my 2nd favorite Christmas movie, but I never said what my 1st favorite Christmas movie is. Can you guess?